Happy holidays, Marty Cesario again for Sportswomen of Colorado and Mountain TV. And this time we're going to check in with Susie Wargin, who is the longtime sideline reporter for the KOA Broncos radio network. Also is the midday jock for 103.5 The Fox and is the MC for the annual Sportswomen of Colorado celebration event. 52nd year of celebrating all these great athletes and those who support the athletes, specifically females in Colorado. So, Susie, I want to check in with you because coming up December 31st is the deadline for nominations. From your perspective, why do you think it's important that we get all these people represented and nominated for this kind of award?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all, Marty. I appreciate it. It's so good to see you and talk with you. It's really important because we need to know about women and supporters of women athletics because we can't know everything. Even in today's age, when there's so much on social media and there's so much on the internet, it's almost too much sometimes. And so you can't grasp who's out there, who are we missing? Who are we missing from the smaller parts of our state where we don't have that kind of saturation? You know, Western Slope, there's people in Durango, there's people, you know, south in Pueblo or way north in Fort Collins or out east. And so we need to know about those female athletes and the supporters of female athletics because otherwise we just don't know. And they should be celebrated just like anybody else in a bigger market is celebrated, but we have to know about them in order to get them on our radar.
Susie Wargin has a lot of credibility with Sportswomen of Colorado. She's been on the selection committee forever and is the longtime MC of the celebrations event, which I think, Susie, when I watch you, I think of your unique position of these amazing people get called up on stage, and you're the only one up there who really gets that perspective, like, wow, not in uniform, there's the woman that she is right there. You got to be like impressed every single time one comes up.
Every time, Marty. And so I get to read all of these paragraphs about women who should probably have chapters and books written about them, but it's a paragraph, a synopsis of what they've done in the year that we're honoring them. And it's really cool to read what they've done and just sit there and go, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? She did this, she did that. She's amazing at this. Or even, and we've had he's because we've had lots of coaches and he's that have been contributors to female athletics. And it's really impressive to be able to read those accolades and then bring them up on stage, get their award and then have everybody recognize them because we're getting much, much better with women's athletics in general, as far as people wanting to know more about it, go to the games, be involved, more so now than it ever has been. But again, we need to have those recognitions out there. And it's really cool to be a part of that, to be the one that gets to say what they've done and then greet them on stage. That's really, really special.
The event is coming up in March, and that will be March 8th. That's a Sunday at the Hyatt Regency in the DTC. How would you describe what that event is if you wanted to share with those who still aren't aware? It's been 52 years. There's still a lot of people in market and across the nation that aren't sure what exactly that is.
Yeah, it's a really special night, Marty. It's always on a Sunday. And, I take great pride as the MC. And yes, we have 50 some awards to get through, but we're not keeping you there till midnight on a Sunday night. So we move through it, fairly quickly and at a good pace so that everybody gets their recognition, but we're not keeping you there all night. So, there's an early reception that's really cool to be able to, and beautifully decorated too. So you can see the past and see the history of Sportswomen of Colorado, which is really neat. And then just the banquet itself, there's always a great speaker. It's just very inspirational, I want to say. I mean, there's so many acronyms you could use for the night because everybody brings something different. And like I said, when I read those bios and that paragraph of what they've done, it's just, you're like, wow, what am I doing with my life? I feel like I do a lot, but I'm like, these women are amazing. So it's really cool to be able to go and listen to what these women have accomplished. And it's very inspirational to younger women. I mean, I've brought my daughter, you've brought your daughters, and it's cool for them to go and meet certain people and listen to what some of these women have done to know that, wow, maybe, I could do that. Maybe I could be up on stage sometime and getting that award. So it's a really, really cool night. And I would encourage, even if you don't have somebody that that's been, nominated or winning an award, go, because it's a really cool evening to experience.
It's funny you touch on, Susie, the inspirational part. I always just tell people, I like to get my daughters in that room and put myself in that room because everybody in there, bunch of winners.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just take it in. Like, wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I heard? I emceed Garrett Bowles' event last week, and he said that one of the best things that his uncle told him is you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. And so if you think about that, and I was like, well, that's pretty intelligent for an offensive lineman because you have 5 guys in the O line. And so, you surround yourself with good people and you're in a good place. But I think it's very true who you surround yourself with or who you make a point to, be around and model yourself after, those close 5 people. And it could be in an event like that, it makes a big difference and can really spark a thought or spark some type of motivation for your own life.
So let's reinforce this. Sportswomen of Colorado, nominations due December 31st. January 20th is our selection committee meeting, and then the celebration event is on Sunday, March 8th. And all throughout that time, Susie Wargin will be chasing our NFL football squad. I got to ask you, you're the sideline reporter. It's been a pretty good season. Why do you believe the Broncos are going to have success as they move into postseason?
Well, we're coming off of that loss to Jacksonville the day after you and I are taping this. So we have that. But I do think, it probably wasn't sustainable to keep going and keep winning, all the way through the regular season. At some point, there maybe needs to be a little bit of a lesson learned. Let's make sure that we're not thinking too much. And I don't think they were at that point, but I think there were times in the game on Sunday where you're like, could have done that a whole lot better. And they know that. They were very open and honest with it after the game. So now it's time to get right, get back in the swing of things for the final 2 games, make that push to win the AFC West, maybe even hopefully be the number 1 seed in the AFC, which would be great. But it's a really, really good team. And it's a team that's very cohesive, very together. Offense, defense, special teams, they all celebrate each other, which a lot of times you don't see that a lot with a professional football team where you've got all 53, rooting for each other. There's usually a straggler here or there, or a straggler that has 5 detractors that kind of hang out with the straggler. And there's some kind of toxic weirdness going on. And we see it a lot with teams, which is too bad. But this is a team where they just don't have it. Sean Payton doesn't stand for it. So he's kind of changed the culture there, and they're really together. And I think if they can keep that going, they don't forget how to tackle and things like that, we're going to be able to do okay and get far in the playoffs. And who knows where we can go. It'd be really cool to be back at Levi Stadium 10 years after Super Bowl 50, where the Broncos won their last one. That would be pretty spectacular. A lot of storylines.
I like to source Susie because she knows as I do the same role for Colorado State football.
Yeah.
You see, hear, feel things a little bit, in a different way
different.
than folks who are in other spots around the stadium or at home. So I always trust sourcing you. And I'm with you too. Take a little hit, check yourself down, a little bit of levity. We'll be good. I trust the D. Go Broncos. Go Sportswomen.
Go Broncos. Go Sportswomen. Absolutely, Marty.
Thank you for supporting Sportswomen of Colorado. They've been telling these stories for over 50 years, and they're just catching up.